Hi there, Scott from Wessex Blades. Now what I had today was a little bit of an inspiration to do some FAQs that I get when it comes to people contacting me for mods and custom work. And what I thought I'd document and film is these conversational pieces as a sort of reference video, so that I can have a link on my website. If you have any ideas that you want me to do something, please watch these videos. It should answer all the questions anyway that generally would come up, and then you'll understand that job I wouldn't be taking on. Do you understand me? So these are the jobs I would be prepared to do, and these are the jobs I'm just not in that arena. Okay, I think the most important thing is when people want me to refurbish a knife, but the knife itself is a stick tang or a partial tang. Now, I only really deal in full tang knives, and obviously I don't want to preach to converted, but everybody, you'll understand that not everybody knows the anatomy of a knife straight off the bat. Everybody knows everything. It's not the case. So I'm going to do this very basic sort of terms and phrases. Okay, this knife is a full tang, through tang. Okay, the metal goes all the way through, and it doesn't lose any thickness from where the handle joins on here to the pommel. Okay, that is a full tang. I really don't want to work in anything other than a full tang. So that's one of the most pivotal FAQs. If you can understand that, if anybody was thinking of calling me for a commission or meeting me at Edel or whatever, when they got something they want me to refurbish and do it my own way, I don't want to mess about with anything other than full tang, because if you start moving into the like the bill hooks, which are usually rat tail stick tangs that go to the end and maybe pinged over, I'm not set up for doing that. I much rather work on a knife that's a throw to start with. Okay, so this style of knife, could be bigger or smaller, but a full tang is all I really ever want to work with when it comes to a commission, a mod. If anybody meets me at a show and they like to start and my books are open and whatever, I really don't want to enter into the realms of stick tangs. Okay, I mean, when it comes to something like this is actually a full tang. Okay, but it's more of what I call a stick. So if you have a look there, that's the extent of the width of the steel that's joined to the handle. So these leather washers have been stacked on, and then they've sort of probably burnished these holes in to give you some grip. As a knife, that's about as good as it gets. A Kabar is a phenomenal piece of kit, and I wouldn't want to ruin it. Okay, someone wants me to try and do something to it. They've been making these things for 60 years. They probably know how to make one, and for the cost of what these things are, I don't understand anybody want to mess about with this too much, other than putting a decent edge on it. If you've you know, given it some serious amount of work and you haven't necessarily got a belt grinder, then putting an edge on one of these things, because the steel's good, okay, that's a commission I would be prepared to do, but I wouldn't want to mess about with the handle, because it's built by the factory for the way it is, if that makes sense. Now what I could do, because I own a Kabar as a wonderful gift, okay, I could do a custom sheath for it, because I have the pattern. So if anybody on the books are open wants me to do a custom Wessex blade sheath for a Kabar, you'll always still have the original sheath, so whatever value it is, if you had resell, you'd have the original concept plus the custom sheath. So in my mind, you'd actually, would have a decent amount of return on the work that needs doing. I suppose that one of the major things I get is I've got a Rambo 2. Could you put a tubular handle on it, but stronger than the handle that's on it at the time? I get quite a few of those. Again, because it's not a full Tang, I try and stay away with it. If you're interested in getting anything for using those knives as collector pieces, they're fine. I've got them. I've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, I like them in terms of the movie history and the design of it. It's quite an intriguing blade. It's quite it does do stuff out and about, but I wouldn't myself put much bludgeoning power on it. So I wouldn't want to work on anything like that, especially when something as accessible as this already exists. If you want a tubular handle on your survival knife, get yourself an extreme Shrade. So there is an example of, if you want a Rambo style knife, a knife that you can use outdoors, and you've got this probable, let's say you want to be able to go out and everything is either on the pouch or in the knife handle, you've got that. Okay, that handle is not a separate tube. The whole thing is 1070 steel. It's one piece. It's like forged. So there's no nut and bolt down the inside. It hasn't been heated up or cooled down in order to get an expansion fit on anything. If you want a Rambo knife that's strong and resilient outdoors, and you don't want to use your collector piece Rambo 1, 2, 3s and 4s, rather than coming to me and trying to convert something like that, which will be, not a factory job, there's something like that. Okay, it's a Shrade, and it's one piece construction. Okay, so that's another sort of job that I wouldn't be prepared to take on. Really, it's not really my scene. And I suppose, just for this sort of quick short vid, something else that I am prepared to do is, because I've got a Recon Scout by Code Steel, I could do a leather sheath or a kydex sheath, because I have this, and in order to work a pattern out, you wouldn't have to post that blade to me, thereby you're saving yourself 10 quid, 11 quid posting it to me, and then you still got it all the time, you can still be using it. You don't lose time with it in my possession. I've got one here, so a kydex sheath or a leather sheath for something like a Kabar USMC or Code Steel Recon Scout. This is the old version with the black blade. They do I think they do a, is it VG10 one now, or whatever. This is, I think it's the SK5 carbon one I got here. But cracking bit of kit, and as I say, a knife that I've got confidence in because it's a really strong construction. So I wouldn't want you to invest the cost of having me do a custom sheath on something that is a value blade, something like 25 £25 or something. If someone's bought one of these for the cost it is, it's more than likely that someone will actually have that much confidence in the blade and they love it that much. But you know what, I quite like a leather sheath. That's the sort of job that I would be prepared to do. Okay, so sort of drawing this first instalment of FAQ Wessex blades for possible, just compartmentalising the tasks that I'm prepared to do if one of my books are open as the jobs I really wouldn't be interested in. It's not really it's not really worth my time. I'm not set up for it. My skill base is not very good in it because I'm concentrating on full tang. I don't do the stick tangs or partial tangs. I do own a few nice blades, so I don't necessarily need a Kabar USMC. I don't necessarily need a Coastal Recon Scout. I do have a Cold Steel, what's the larger one? The Bowie, the big one, Trail Master. And I've got, I've got quite a few, like BK7. Those sort of knives, I'll probably highlight on another vid. I have them here. I own them. So I could do a kydex, I could do a leather stack sheath, and a really nice looking one with rivet or double stitch rows on. Those sort of projects I'm able to do because I own them, and you haven't got to send them to me. And the other one that is an example is Rambo knives. I'm not going to be taking on jobs for Rambo knives, converting it into a more solid tubular handle just so you can get a survival kit in it, when you could buy a pattern sheath with a survival pouch on the side. Those sort of constructions are far better left alone as interesting pieces for military, and the choice, I would say, if you're into that sort of mindset and you want a knife to put a survival kit in the handle rather than that because you like the cool, you like the concept, you think that's quite a nice idea, get yourself one of them. Alright, so thanks for joining me again. Should do maybe 2 more FAQs, and it's just something for potential customers to immediately, just by viewing the video, yay or nay. It's not that sort of thing he does, and I'll hopefully have a link to my website at some point forward you to these sort of FAQ videos. Thanks to me again. Let's go off my displays. And there's my first video. What I've also said was I'll be available, so when this one goes live, for the first sort of hour after it's uploaded, I'll be available for comments, answers, a little bit of feedback, questions on what I've covered in the in my presentation of the video, and some other things that may arise that these things are giving inspiration for. So once this thing's uploaded and it goes live, I will be around then and there, rather than more and more deluge of emails, okay, because my books are closed in certain times, and then when the books are closed I try not to be too concentrating on answering emails that are not from people on the books. So thanks for joining me again, and I should be available for the first hour to have a bit of a banter. Thanks for joining me again.